Hey guys, on this episode of Make It with Calvin, I'm going to take you through the process of making a custom silicone mold and then some resin castings for in addition to the mine entrance kit that I sell. So let's dive into it. So the idea I had is I was wondering if I could take these two-part epoxy rocks that I've created and use them to form a master that I could then make a silicone mold with and create some resin rocks to go at the back of the kit, which is this right here. But let's talk about getting to that point in a minute. So the first thing I did was I obviously made a resin rock, if you will, and then I took that rock and cut some pieces out. And then I just glued them to a piece of laser cut plywood. The main reasoning is I wanted to create some depth to it so that way you could slide it into the back of the kit and it actually have some strength to it, if you will. So I took that and lasered up a simple wooden mold here that I poured some amazing mold maker into. And I have to say, for coming from Michael's down the street, this stuff actually works quite well, so I can't complain. Once that was done, I had this, which is the silicone mold. You can tell it's relatively simple. Pretty much what I do is lay it down, I pour the resin in there, wait about half an hour for it to finish heating up and then cool down some, pull it out, and I'm done. Now the thing is, I want to make another one of these, so I have two different styles of rock molds. So let's mix up some of the mold maker, pour it into the mold, let that cure, and then we can come along and make some resin castings. All right, some time has passed. Ignore the red Sharpie marks on here. I was doing some prototyping for stuff, but let's get the mold out and see what we've got. So first things first, let's get rid of the masking tape on here. One thing I will say is I didn't apply any mold release to the MDF, which may or may not have been the smartest of ideas, but it's coming apart easily enough. Doink. Let me peel this back. Oh yeah. So you can see there's our core. Okay, so here are the two different molds that I have. You can see I've scribbled 10 cc or 10 cubic centimeters for the capacity. What I think I might do in the future is actually emboss into what I'm going to be making the mold in with the capacity for the mold, so that way I'm not going, how much was that again? Over mixing, under mixing, all that stuff. So one little thing that I'll do in the future, but what I'm going to do is off camera, I'm going to hit these down with some mold release. Then we're going to come back, mix up some epoxy, and actually make ourselves some resin parts. All right, so now it's time to actually make the resin cast. So we're just going to use the Amazing Casting resin, which is nice because it has a 2 to 3 minute working time and about according to the packaging, 5 to 10 minutes demold time. I find for smaller parts like this, I'm better off 20, 30 minutes. I'm not in any massive rush. I will say these molds are warm from sitting outside to let the solvent evaporate from the mold release. So this stuff will probably kick a lot quicker, but we'll pour that in there. That looks good. Pour that in there. So this stuff is actually really cool because when it goes off, it goes from clear to kind of milky white in the middle, and then the whole thing will go white. So we'll just, I don't know, go to a time lapse. All right, so some more time has passed. I've let the resin have more than enough time to cure. It is nice and hard. So now let's pop these bad boys out, and let me say, putting some mold release in there really helps. Now there are a few little stragglers, if you will, from the initial silicone pour because I never sealed up the side of the wood, but nobody cares. It's on a side nobody's going to see. So if I wanted to, I could just come along and either sand or just trim off the flashing on the back. But 1 rock casting is done and 2 rock castings are done. So the nice thing is there is a little bit of difference between the two. Realistically, you're not going to see that much down the end of the tunnel. But there you go. So if you're interested in the kits that these would be coming in or anything else that I have for sale in the Etsy shop, I'll have a link to it down in the description. If you have any suggestions for things you want to see in there, let me know. I do have some interesting stuff coming down the pipeline. So hope you guys enjoyed, and I'll see you next time on Make It With Calvin.